he's the one that he said, hey, you know, Hashin Circle Shasos, he looked, he said, hey, potential, maybe you can help us here. So that's what he did, and I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for having that thought, that how would you say it, that confidence in me to be able to do this. And then I'll oblige your request again tomorrow night, your tiki. The only thing is I had meetings the other day, and I just got home and I packed everything up, just threw everything in a bag. I didn't want to check a bag, so I just put everything in one bag, so I didn't bring anything. I didn't bring those pillows, no blankets. You need to have a stack about that high that I sit on.
We'll give you a chair.
So anyway, that's, and then my flight leaves early Sunday too, so we'll see what we can do.
Okay.
So appreciate you again for that, and confidence in me and your whole organization there in Arizona. Yeah. So, I know you're the president over there too, so thank you. And your delegate at large here for this meeting too.
Yeah.
So and you and your wife. I begin you that. It might be some mushy that's a bit machine that's in there. Without the shin that's it. So and beginning always. Everybody else that's here again from the doorway in all the way they come in to go all the way back out. They go way up. I don't know what she's on there go. They what a night they cut. I got a hotel do that over there with the family. So move on, move forward that way. Yeah, if you didn't even thank you, President. Then First Lady, thank you, Mrs. Brady, for coming in. Good words. You always have good words to share. You shared a lot of good words with my mom last year. This kind of really appreciate it. So thank you for the gifts that you shared with her and all that. Good blessings in return to you, family, and back home. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Mr. Diaz here, Editor-in-Chief. Appreciate everyone for coming out. Like I was saying, I just want to welcome everyone that, just now getting here. Our good relatives, we have our Apache chairman over here. Raise your hand. So, and then there's a youth mountain council right next to this tribal leadership. And maybe there's other these work sessions. We just want everyone to have their input. Yes, we know all the issues out there, but what we need is a solution, just like Mr. Dace was saying. I know some of you were probably wondering, what his whole point was. There's infrastructure that's going to take place. There's a lot of disturbance going to happen within these 4 counties here. So, like he was saying, there's something coming. So that's kind of what that is. I know Benny and Morales here, and the distributors here all see all the disturbances happening here. So that's why we've been advocating, protection for this holy medicine. We've been going to DC, doing all these legislative efforts, trying to conserve and preserve this medicine. And the hurdle that we have, it's all on private land, and then so just like what he was saying, we got to establish relationships. We got to, maybe we got to kind of come down here on their time, not try to invite them over. And we got to, maybe come down at their convenience, and get that good relationship going. Because I know today, there's a lot of different tribes, different chapters kind of have relationships already with landowners, and it kind of seems like they don't want to, kind of share whoever the landowner is, you know, kind of like gatekeeping, but it's all right, you know. But I know one day, you know, we're gonna all have how it used to be. You know, I'm sure that's a long-term goal we all have. And I know it's getting expensive, and that's why we invited Peony distributors to share why it's going that route and things like that. So here shortly, we'll have that time for them here. But Mr. Watson ain't here. He's en route. But I was going to ask our Texas delegate, you know, being that his, you know, we had him from the welcome. Maybe we could just share a little intro, you know, just welcome everybody here. And then after that, the distributors, you can stand by. Yeah, you could have your chance to express yourself. So, turn this time over to you.
Good evening now. I don't know if you pop up there. Good morning, buenos dias. My name is Isaac Papa Bear Alvarez Cardenas. Papa Bear isn't my Indian name, it's a name that the young boys program that we have at our previous boys that grow up without fathers. We have a rites of passage program that help them, you know. And they nicknamed me that, and it stuck. A lot of people don't know me by Isaac, but they know me as Papa Bear. So endeavor to persevere. Endeavor to persevere. I don't know if you ever heard that. There's a movie called Josie Wales where Chief Jack George is in that movie. And he talked about the Cherokee, how they were made to Trail of Tears. And how in the paper, in the newspaper, it said, endeavor to persevere, the Cherokee. So I think that that's where we are. We're still endeavor to persevere. I want to welcome you to our home state of Texas. I want to welcome the executive board here. Also all the delegates at large from your homes. I know you're far away from home. I also have much love and solidarity for NACNA. We joined up in 1999. And just like we were strangers, later we started becoming relatives. And we endeavored to persevere, even though we worked hard. You know, I'm thinking about what he was saying, what he saw when he came to our agency and he saw in Yanawana Company known as San Antonio, our offices. And our offices, we paid for, we bought them. We didn't ask any help from the government. And we're purchasing land around Texas. We have plans. And we're endeavoring to persevere with this. And it's all linked up because we have our tribal council, and we have our board for AITSCM, which is American Indian Texas, Spanish Colonial Missions, and then we have our church and our tribe. And many times, I know I've traveled all over Indian country, it's usually not like that. Usually the government sees it one way, the council sees it another way, a board sees it another way, and there's all kinds of things when we want to get something done, like this soft opening. But since we all work together, and we're all a team, you know, that's something that we want to spread out to all Indian countries. And we all need to get together. We're such a small group in this country. And there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear, especially us. And look at we look with this new administration. But Texas is a really unique situation. The Texas Indians, and we have relations with tribes in Mexico also. And there's a whole history. I could sit here and talk for hours, but I don't want to take the time. But I just want to say that, you know, I have friends from all over different cultures. It could be Republicans or Democrats or Independents. We learned something when we went to DC, when we went to appropriations building. And I believe the late And when we showed them our flyer, it had a red color and it had a blue color. So what do you think that she did right away? She said, "Is this Republican and Democrat legislation that you want to?" I says, no. And John Gray explained that the red and blue is our church colors that we have and put. And she said, "Oh," and she interrupted the person that was saying that. She says, "Well, this is the way we should see it. You know, that eagle that represents this country, right wing, left wing, is the same bird." So when I got that, I said, that's right. We're the same people. So a lot of people are in fear now, and we're in fear. We've been in fear for many years with this medicine, over 25 something. So I really, we endeavored to persevere to also bring this office, central office. And it's a small office, it's a small start, but it's an office, and we got plans. And yes, we have people that know how to make newsletters and printouts and stuff like that, and that's what we want to start doing, helping with that. And you'll have a place there, it's a home. You come, visit, fresh, restroom, waters, snack bars, little place, go out, get food, afterwards, right next door. We also have a champion, Congressman Henry Cuellar, and Jesus Toro Martinez is his worker, his staff person there in San Antonio. They're just a block down. So he gave a congressional presentation, proclamation to John Brady about the office. So it has history. This history, could be researched and stuff. So they're behind us. They want to hear us, and the more that they develop this relationship, it's about education. Because when we started 3 years ago, they didn't know these issues. A lot of the government doesn't know about this stuff. And there's other persons that are saying different stories. But we were able to educate everyone who knows. So I want to thank you, everybody. I apologize for coming late. I had cataract surgery, so I'm wearing these Elvis Presley glasses. But I'll be here tomorrow also. And I just want to thank the executive board, and all the delegates here, all your families. We wish you many wishes of hope, love, and charity. Thank you.
I want to thank you, Isaac Applebear, and appreciate yesterday. It was really nice. I know it made us feel proud and happy to, after 77 years, the organization finally has an office, and then it's going to continue to grow. It's going to be more productive, more vibes and energy. It's going to be before that. So just like we were saying, we could all huddle up there, get our game plan ready, and we'll go to the Capitol and do what we need to do. So I thought that was really nice and good, And then, so I'll turn this time over here to our distributors, and then after that, we'll take a break. So, I don't know, ladies first, or Albert. Then, and this is your time, relatives. I know some of you have questions. This is the time, to ask. So I just want to give them that time, maybe updates on their end. Not to put them on the spot or anything, but just to share. Because that's what we're trying to do: establish good relationships, good energy. Because they're helping us, and in return we're helping them. And then at the same time, it makes it easier too. Because we tried to go out there, my wife and I, get this medicine hot, and scorpions, bobcats, and geez, we wasn't prepared either. We got invited to a 1,000-acre area. We just got to pick whatever we could. We had sandals on, and man, we wasn't even set ready for that. But, so I'll turn this time over. Whoever wants to go first. You guys can come right here, and so that way we could hear.
Hi, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
Glad to be here again this year. Any questions? I guess that's what, to start off with, if you have questions concerning us as distributors of what we do or to whom we sell our medicine or who is able to purchase medicine from us and what we are able to sell also. We do have rules and regulations, you know. Also, there's many things that we are not as distributors allowed to do.
Yeah.
There are many that I know that some of our distributors are not doing. We are only allowed to sell our medicine in Texas. We cannot sell it anywhere else. We cannot travel with it. You as are the natives and those that purchase it, yes. You can take it wherever you go, but us as distributors, we cannot take it anywhere. We're only allowed to sell it in Texas. Other things, we're not allowed to sell roots. No roots. Just allowed to sell buttons, dried medicine. That's it. No powder, no roots, nothing like that. No eagle feathers.
What about seeds?
No seeds, sir. We're not allowed to sell the seeds. I take care of my seeds. I go back where I picked my medicine and I distribute everything else. Everything, all my bark, everything else. I distribute it back from where I picked it. That's how I do it. I've been asked also, who is a distributor, who isn't a distributor, why is this person selling? Unfortunately, like I've told everyone, some of my family members or my family name, they use our family name to sell medicine. You make sure when you purchase your medicine, you purchase it from a legal distributor. That person has their license. You pay $1,850 just to have that license. Yearly. So, and then you, I say this starts with you all. Because you all are the ones that come and purchase the medicine. Sometimes you purchase it from somebody that is not legally licensed. And that's where I say it all begins. Because these people that are selling medicine to those that are not, just to anyone that comes and that are not licensed, they're not just selling to our tribal members and those that have papers and pay for your memberships. They're selling to anybody that wants to purchase medicine. So they get money from whomever wants to purchase medicine, which I think it starts with us. It starts with all of us that are here. That you guys make your yearly pilgrimage here. You come from so far to come and purchase medicine. I think it's only the right way to come and do it the right way. To keep our tradition going for our younger generation. And if, like I say, there's other people or that are asking that if you don't have medicine, can I go and purchase from somebody else? You can go purchase whomever you want to, but I'm telling you, you're not going to get a receipt. And that is not legal. It's against the law for anybody else that does not have a license to sell medicine. We're already breaking the law right there.
What is the cost of it if we're caught with no receipt?
Excuse me?
So what is it to cost us if we're caught with no receipt?
Well, if you have no receipt
Just to
and you
understand.
get stopped, they will ask you if you have proof of your purchase. The other thing, I know that some of our members and our relatives will also say, you know, I bought this from somebody else, can you please include that purchase in your? I will not do that. Sorry, this is happening. You know, we are selling medicine and then, you know, include this that you bought it, I bought it from you, include it on my receipt when you purchase it from somebody else.
That's like bootleg.
It's going on. It goes on. And unfortunately, it happens among us here.
So when
It's
someone,
happened among us here. Yes.
so when someone comes to you,
Yes.
because I can only talk for our people.
Yes.
We have
Yes.
a permit. It has our logo of our church.
Right.
It has everything that's needed, and we turn that in, right? And then we get our receipt. Is there anyone that doesn't come up and just an individual that's a native and says, I want to buy medicine, and he doesn't say,
Oh,
well,
yes,
I belong to the
there's
church?
many that come in and say that they want to purchase medicine and stuff like that. And that's where it starts also, that I say, public media. All the media and everything, like you say, there's a lot of online people selling medicine.
Right.
They're selling medicine, you know, they're showing this and showing this and showing that. And of course, people are gonna start calling you or texting you through Facebook and all of that, that you're selling this and you know, I'm part of some tribe or I'm part of this. You make sure you ask for, well, us as distributors, we're supposed to ask for a tribal membership or your papers that you have. That you do have the right, that if you see your part in the back, you have the right to purchase that medicine. And if you don't have that, and if you're not a member of the NAC or in another tribe, or if you don't have that paperwork, you cannot sell your medicine.
Yeah.
And like I tell you, unfortunately, there is many that do come and ask, and they say, we're part of this, you know, and we need proof. We need proof. I know, like you said, you asked me, I'm sorry, I jumped into another answer to something else. What is it if you are caught without a receipt? Sometimes they'll let you go because they know that you are native. But sometimes, you never know, might be the wrong person or whatever, you're going to just stop that medicine, it's going to be taken away from you. And I will be called. Either me or the other distributors, they'll call you, because I have gotten several calls of either the Postal Service, DEA has called me, telling me that they have medicine that they confiscated. I want to go and pick it up from wherever they have it before they either get rid of it or whatever they do. If I want to go pick it up, and I sometimes will, just sometimes say, what is the name on that person or who is that person? I'm sorry, I'm not involved with it. I cannot take care of their medicine or whatever. Probably they were selling it to somebody that it was illegally being sold. So, do you have any questions or any concerns that you would? Yes, sir.
Like Terry Days was describing some of the things that are happening.
Yeah.
Me and my niece were going down to see all the politics and
Yeah.
everything.
Yes, sir.
It's happening all over. And there's other things too. Because this is your livelihood too.
Yes, this is my part of
If
life too,
if
my
the
way
medicine
of life
disappears,
also.
your family,
Yes.
everything is
Yes.
gone. What are the things that you're feeling that we don't know about with everything that's happening that's really affecting?
Oh.
Maybe there's something that we as a forum could maybe help you.
I would say maybe my pickers. Many of my pickers, of course, we're close to the border, and many of them are Mexicans. And maybe they are still not having their legal papers or legal, you know, and unfortunately, they're scared also to go pick medicine out in the land. Because now we're going to have a checkpoint coming in Roma. And in the outskirts of Rio Grande, we're going to have a checkpoint. You know, they don't have papers, they're scared of ICE, they're taking people without any need of taking them. We do have, my pickers do have a permit. They have to have a permit. They do have to have a permit in order to travel with that medicine. But of course, once they have that permit says they are supposed to take it directly to the picker that gave you that permit.
Harvester.
Yes.
To the
To
distributor.
the harvest, yeah, the distributor that gave you that permit. Unfortunately, we have some distributors that try to, get some of our pickers and try to tell them, you know, I'll pay you more to go pick, and don't take it to her or to him and bring it to me. You know, but that part is that already, that part. And I've had some occasions when I've been called that a certain picker was stopped and, they want to see if, I don't have one of my permits from one of my employers. That they've been stopped or they have medicine with them and they are saying that they are taking it or they are bringing it to me. When I know it's at close by the other distributor's house. Why was that person caught over there at that other distributor's house and he's saying that he's bringing it to me? What do you, that's when you know that that is going on, you know? And it's bad, you know, that is also part of the thing. And then some of our pickers, of course, that is their work, that's how they make their money. And if somebody comes over here, no, I'll pay you more. So pick for me and don't take it to her. That's part, but they feel also, how would I say it? They're scared. They're scared. And because they voiced it. We're scared now to go. So like, with all of this going on, this year, I have very little medicine. I'm very limited on the medicine that we're gonna sell this year. And of course, because deer hunting season is barely just ended, so we have not even 2 weeks to go harvest our medicine also. Because deer hunters, the deer hunters and the landowners prefer to lease their land and their ranches for the deer hunters. I paid only $50 a day per just to go and pick medicine. We'll take our pickers and go pick medicine. I only have 2 pickers, but $50 a day to go and pick medicine at their properties, depending on what rancher I have available to go and pick. I also have to have permission from them. We'll call them in the morning and tell them we're going in today, and of course they're going to be waiting for their $50 that day. And when we get out, and usually it's between 7 to 11. You gotta get out of there early also. We have days, maybe only Monday, maybe only Tuesday you can come in and pick to our land today. But deer hunting season starting from October to the end of February, to the beginning of February, we cannot go and pick anywhere. I would not take my pickers to go risk it and go anywhere and pick because of deer hunting season.
Yeah, it's been a week.
But, yeah, so, very, yes. Well, good thing on some of the ranchers, you know, we get permission and they say, you know what, I'm not having anybody the first week of February, so you can go ahead and come and pick. So we've only had like 10 days to pick medicine.
Okay, anyone want a question? Don't be shy.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Hi, let me just introduce myself real quick. Hi, my name is Alberta Martin. I'm originally from Page, Arizona, and I attended last year's Mid-Year, and I'm part of the, as they say now, the Maine Nation, with District 1 with Chibi. I just wanted to say something regarding the medicine, and if you think about this in this sense, in this generation, as it's the estate, the medicine, is like a class 4 narcotic drug, right, by the federal government.
Schedule 1.
Schedule 1.
Schedule 1.
So if you think about it in a pharmaceutical way, we go to a doctor, the doctor gives us a prescription. And that prescription, we take to a pharmacist and they give us the medicine. This medicine is specifically for you, not to share with somebody else. So, and there, if you think of Zulema and the other distributor, as pharmacists, they are authorized to distribute this medicine. So other individuals who aren't doing this, they're doing it illegally. If you go out and you go get medicine from your buddy, who, oh yeah, I have extra antibiotics here, you can take it. That was not prescribed for you, for your age, for your weight, and everything. So if you think of it in that sense, I think maybe we can, well, all understand and we need to respect this medicine, and maybe that's the reason why we're going up against all of these things that are, you know, now and have now endangered our medicine because we've abused it ourselves. We also as members and our family members. So we here, people that are with that are members, need to tell families. I know I, as a secretary, I had people come to me saying, well, I need to go get medicine. Who do I need to go see? And I used to say, well, you got to go see your board of director. You need to go see, you got to make sure you have a membership card. And, you know, these are distributors. And usually I would get the name of the distributor. I say, these are the distributors you need to go to. They go, well, I could go down there and buy from someone else. I said, go ahead, go do it. Remember, it's a federal crime. If you want to go to prison for it, go right ahead and do it. If you want to get it confiscated from you, go ahead and do it. But don't put me on it. I've had calls from individuals who did get in trouble, and they were trying to have me make their membership card predated to before all of this happened. And I told them no. I said, that's my reputation, I'm legally signing that.
Right.
I am not going to be a part of that. So you need to keep that in, you know, keep that in your mind when you go do this, or when somebody says, hey, you know, your best friend can, you know, they can get you in trouble. They're not going to be there for you when you get in trouble. They're not going to bail you out. So you got to think about it in that sense, and that's why we need to protect the medicine that's there, you know. And so just, you know, just be aware of it. Thank you for bringing that
That's how
up to
you,
it.
like you are saying also, some have gotten in trouble and they're calling me for me to say that they have a license with me, or that they have a permit to pick medicine, or to come in and bring it to me. And I can't do that.
And then just like
You already started illegally doing it and said it, and then you're picking it, and then you said it, and you forgot that you said that you were going to bring it to me.
And documentation.
So now you got caught with it, and now you're saying that it's yours. You know, I work for her. I'm sorry, sir. Right there, it's not.
So the legal
Sorry,
says it was
never
never
know when you're
documented,
gonna
it
get
didn't happen.
in trouble.
If you think of it in that sense. So,
Right.
you know, even all of us have driver's license, you know, we're all legally at that age to drive. So we all have, you know, different, I guess you could say, licenses to operate. You know, even our birth certificate, you know, even our passports that allow us to go different places, you know, without that fear. So if you think of it in that sense, you know, I hope that does kind of clear the little muddy water will.
Yeah. And like you said, I've always said this. We can't be greedy with our medicine. We can't be greedy. My dad would always say concerning the medicine. There was that one time, because he was a peotero for many years before it became part of a business of being a peotero. Started maybe in the early 80s or late 80s, early 90s of being peotero distributors. There was peotero people that would sell before, but then since it was a Schedule I drug, then they had to make more rules and regulations concerning selling peyote. So he would say before they would come. They've always had ceremonies in our property, in our ranch. He would say, one peyote. That peyote made the whole ceremony. One big peyote, cut in little tiny pieces. Your faith, and how your prayers go into that peyote. He said, just that peyote. You can dip it in water, drink the water. It all depends on how they all prayed for that one failed.
Mhm.
They made their whole ceremony work. This was many years ago. So, that's why I say don't be greedy with the medicine.
Well, I just want to say thank you, you know, for, I know as a national organization, you know, we try our best to make sure the chapters that are affiliated have the right, you know, paperwork, traveler authorization, paperwork, you know, we try to be savvy in that area and make sure you got membership cards. And I know sometimes too, it's our own people that kind of go against the grain, you know, try to take shortcuts. And I know, oh, we don't need a membership card to pray, or we don't need, you know, they try to get that mentality, but yet when they come down here, there's a family, I know a lot of times, they come down here and they have no paperwork. Get a call at 10 midnight or whatever, I need some paperwork. So I'm gonna commend the distributors for making sure they have the paperwork.
Yeah.
Whether they drove 1,000 miles, 2,000
We have
miles.
to keep our records for the DEA.
Yeah.
And we gotta report it every end of the year.
Yeah.
And we do get audited. Every 2 years, we get audited. They come and check our facility, how we have it, how it's locked, how we kept it, and if it's clean. You have to keep your area clean also and organized.
Yeah, so I just want to say thank you on that and make sure, I don't know who the harvesters are. I know proper harvesting, I'm sure you guys taught them, you know, proper harvesting and stuff like that.
Only take the top
Yeah,
part,
yeah.
the ground. Yes, sir.
My question is, there's a lot of organizations in the Native American Church, a lot of different branches. So how do you mingle through that? What kind of papers do they give out?
They have their tribal papers or their
With this
tribal card.
different organization?
Everybody has their own. Like you have your own, they have, another tribe has their own also.
So what you're saying is to specify, I have to be Native American and also CIB,
Yes, sir.
and even
In order
along
to
with
purchase
you.
your medicine, yes.
Okay.
I'm not gonna sell it just to anybody. It has to be a Native American or somebody that has a tribal paper and enrollment number. I'm not gonna sell it just to anyone.
Hmm.
This medicine is for you all,
Yeah.
for us, because I include myself with you all. It's only for us. I'm not gonna sell it just to anyone that says I'm Native. I need to see your papers. I need to see either your ID, make sure it's, and I have to make a receipt, and that receipt goes to the DEA. And I always tell them, just make sure your papers are legal, and we're making sure that they're legal, because they go to the DEA.
Is there, any, kind of way, maybe, organization to collaborate or something like leasing or help you or whatever?
That's another thing. Many of the landowners are very, not to say ignorant or not educated concerning the medicine. The more you try to teach them to tell them that it's not a drug, because to them it's a drug. To many of our landowners think it's a drug because there's many people that try to use it as a drug. Like you said, now pharmaceuticals are wanting to make it. You can teach them and tell them, no, it's not a drug. So that's why many ranchers and landowners don't want to lease their land. You know, they prefer like the sick deer hunters or hunting season or something else, you know. Some of them do not understand, some of them do, but since it's their land, they'll decide if they're gonna lease it to you or if they won't, and this day or not this day.
Because I know one time Mr. Johnson proposed he leases 50,000 a year acres, and he wanted. Well, I'm just saying what. I mean, I'm not trying to-
Maybe he does.
So he proposed
I remember about 2 years ago, I remember
Yeah.
the radio.
yeah, he proposed something to us, you know, like, kind of, take over on the lease, payments, and then things like that, so, but we just kind of, just, as far as it went.
Probably it was some other landowner or
Yeah.
something. Here it's our local landowners
Yeah.
here, and some of them are landowners that were known from my father or from
Yeah.
other of our relatives that knew them, so that's why they'll lease them to us, you know. And they'll let us, yeah, sure, you can go in today or whatever, and of course, we'll pay you depending on what it is, you know. But it's not a yearly thing, because it's, like I tell you, from October to February, you won't use it. So it's only, we'll say February, March, April, May, June, July, August, and September. And that's it. That's the time that we can harvest our maize. Unless we get permission and they don't lease their land for deer hunting, we can go in. I don't know if you want to say something, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, and I need something.
Mr. Benny here, and make some expressions and some, he's been kind of one of those guys, he's been on social media, standing in front of bulldozers, trying to call medicine, you know, and so here he is right here, get his autograph afterwards. Benny here, so, okay.
My name is Benito Villarreal. I am a harvester, peyote harvester for my wife's distributor license. We got it in May 2025. I used to work for Mr. Mauro Morales when I was younger, in and out, Mr. Rodriguez, other distributors, Mr. Guerra when I was younger. My dad worked for Mr. Guerra. My grandfather and his brothers worked for Mr. Guerra harvesting medicine. And when I was a real child, we would go to all these properties where there wasn't gates, there were just cattle guards. So we would just go in there, and there wasn't no breaking of the law because the gates were open. All these places are literally gone from harvesting medicine. They got gates now. We talk to property owners. The property owners, like Ms. Morales says, is they think it's a very bad drug that hurts the body. They have no knowledge of, in South Texas, of what we Native American people are praying with for God, and they think it's like a party, a Saturday night party, like at a bar. That's what I came up to a gentleman watching yesterday. Me and my friend, he was watering his plants, and I stopped over, and my wife told me we'll see ranch owners trying to get permission, and we talked to him, and he's not a landowner, but he says, "What do you do with those drugs? Do you smoke them?" Yeah. And kind of sad that, how do I try to explain to somebody that didn't grow up in this way? It's really hard because they only see what they see on TV. He said that he might have 7,000 acres, and if they were to rent it to my wife or to Ms. Morales, it costs about $10 an acre, and that's $70,000. Morales and my wife shared pickers. We used to be, when her dad was alive, 13, 16 pickers. We're 2, 3 with me. That's it. We share the pickers. We ask them, can you get medicine? They go out, find 300 buttons. I go out to my ranch and find 300 buttons. The demand was maybe 10,000 for this weekend. I barely have enough medicine. Ms. Morales, I don't know how many medicine she has, but we struggle together. My wife and her struggle to get properties. We go up to properties all the time. I go up to properties, we get online. All these bigger properties with 25,000 acres and this bigger project, they're already rented out to a research from, I don't know what organization, but they're rented out 10 years in advance. So us distributors, we can't rent those ranches anymore. And there's a whole bunch in Zapata, Miranda City, Jim Hog, Rio Grande, smaller properties here, but the education of not being a drug to the landowners is very, very hard. And over the years, well, we poached properties because the landowner didn't let us. When I was younger, it was, well, just get medicine. we jumped the fence, and us harvesters drank alcohol when we were young and did drugs and did all these things that when we were young you do. And we let her take a camera. So now, when we're older, we go out to the same property owner. No, you took my stuff from my ranch. Don't go in my ranch. So now legally, they will rent it out to us, and not knowing how it's being used in the Native America, because we don't bring the cameras inside. We don't share this we share some of it on YouTube. Most of it is non-natives on YouTube sharing these things. And the ranch owners don't have any feedback of why not to protect it or why to destroy it. They have, like a brother here said, that they bulldoze for cattle grazing. The USDA puts up the money for the bulldozing for the cattle grazing. And out here we're in a drought of a 4-month drought, and really not healthy to run cattle out here today because of the drought season. Not very. But they still go through the process of applying for these grants and bulldoze half of their property. And the medicine is being bulldozed today. There's a highway being built, 17 miles, humongous highway. We definitely need it. I recorded on my Facebook. But if you guys have any questions about harvesting the medicine, we are on the harvester for my wife's distributor license today. So, and we are having some issues, especially Ms. Morales and my wife, that we are south of here. Mr. Salvador Johnson, he's been doing this for 60 years or so. We don't really know what properties he's in or how he does his. We're so far away. We can just talk about me and Ms. Morales and the struggle that we go through. And we just started the struggle. Ms. Morales has been longer in that struggle of getting medicine, all the medicine that we need for all the people that order it. And then I have another thing that my wife was telling me. Well, the Native Americans order medicine, and Ms. Morales can be a witness of this. They order 8,000 and they don't never show up. But we try to go get it, and then we have to dry it. And then when conferences like this, well, we don't have no more fresh medicine, because they didn't pick it up so before it went to waste, so we tried it. So a lot of people come all the way out here don't want dry medicine. They actually want fresh medicine. But I harvested 8,000 for my wife at the beginning of the year, and we have to dry it, and I still have it, So if anybody needs dry medicine, my wife has 8,000 now. So, be aware. When you order medicine from Ms. Morales, you need 1,000, order it from Ms. Morales, order it from my wife, but don't order it from everybody. Make sure you have it. Maybe make a down payment on the medicine if you need 1,000. Give $100 deposit where she can go get it, or my wife can send us to go get it for that order, because it's kind of a waste. Because if we don't get to try it, it's like the tomatoes, they go bad, and we gotta be aware of those things, And that's the only worry that we had at the beginning of the year, that a lot of natives order medicine and then buy it at Salvador's or Ms. Morales or my wife, but there's a lot of orders going on, that and then we can't say, well, you want to give a down payment, because it's kind of like we believe in the native that if they say they're going to pick up so much medicine, they would pick it up, Yes.
My name is Michael Flores. My Indian name is Dekhe Ajinga, and that means Sacred Son of the White Buck. I come from the Omaha people. On my dad's side, I come from the Leader clan. On my mom's side, I come from 3 war chiefs. And I wanted to say thank you for all your effort. Yeah. And say thank you to you, too, for all your effort for us. And I believe in this medicine. It healed my toe one time, and then it healed my grandmother from tuberculosis in the 30s. And then my great grandpa, her father, his name was Ed Klein, and he started that Native American church back in 1906 in Mason, Nebraska. But I wanted to say thank you to you for your effort and your effort for going out there in this weather, all of it. And I would like to see you distributors come in these meetings with us and pray about what you're going through. And I really appreciated that meeting that I sat in there with you. Because through that meeting, that medicine was talking to me all the way back to Mason, Nebraska. I have a brother named Milton Miller, and that medicine, I brought that medicine to him, and he was really thankful. He got healed over his son passing on him through that medicine. But I would like to see you distributors together in one team, right? Yeah. I don't know how many other people think that way, but this is what this medicine's telling me.
I really agree we should work together for the people.
And then
The distributors should work together.
then we're supposed to be one with this. But I had to say thank you. Oh yeah, excuse me for speaking in front of you guys that are older than 65. I gotta put it down because I don't know it all. But I have a little experience I can share with you since. And it healed my wife from arthritis, and then it healed her from fibromyalgia, and then it restored her inside. And we have an 8-year-old daughter now through this medicine. And but I wanted to say thank you to both of you and to Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson donated 500 deals to us when we had these meetings for it. But I would like to see all of you and sit in a meeting with all of you, praying about what you're going through, what you're telling us about these ranchers and everything. I would like to see you turn it all over to this higher power. And everything will work out that way for you. Kind of way I see it. This is the way this medicine is talking to me for you guys. Thank you all for listening to me.
Anybody has any other questions? I have a gift for John Brady. I want to take this opportunity to give. I promised John Brady in Colorado that I would give him a Mexican flag, and we do have it now, and I would like to give it to you, or present it to you. I would like to open it and give it to you, and then, because we talked over there with a veteran, and he talked about North America, Mexico, United States, and Canada, and I have that flag here with us today.
Thank you.
Represent the Mexican people in the United States and Mexico. Vote. Thank you.
So I just want to thank the Peony distributors, Julie, Benny, and I like the Omaha relative for that good thought that he had, to see the distributors around the fireplace, and to pray about it, I think that was really nice, that would be history making, It's like this coming convention, we made it kind of mandatory for our convention. We want all the officers and delegates to go in the ceremony Thursday night before our Friday business. So you know. So it's what, because I always heard that, why don't you guys pray and sit around and pray, because then have your business. See how that goes, okay? That's what we're gonna do, you know, and then that way, you know, we'll be all under the good spirit of the medicine, and then talk business, you know. And so that's gonna happen Father's Day weekend, you know. So I just wanna say, we'll go down to our delegates. We have Arizona, North Dakota, and Texas, and then New Mexico, and our Canadian relatives. I think they're still kind of looking around, sightseeing a little bit. But before we go into a little break, at 1 o'clock, we have Mr. Kiowa Chairman, Lord Spotted. He's going to come on, and he's going to share, like I was saying, a little bit of what their tribe is going to try to establish within their community on all this traditional knowledge, this cultural appropriation, you know, and we all see it, all in the public domain, you know, ceremonies and all this stuff taking place, you know. So he wants to take that initiative while he's in that leadership position and huddle up his tribe and to be mindful of all the songs, the language, and all the teachings, and all their societies, their dances, you know, that it's not for sale, you know. So I know we're all probably late in the ball game because it's already out there in the public domain. You know, they tell us, well, if you guys say it's so sacred and so holy, why is it on YouTube? Why is it on TikTok? And all these social media. So sometimes it's our own people, you know, that, you know, kind of do it, cause it, you know. So I'm not trying to degrade or discourage anyone, but, you know, sometimes some things just need to be said, you know. And so not to, you know, be any kind of way, but just try to get that good structure for our children and our grandchildren that are coming up. You know, we don't want them to be winging it, you know, like I was saying earlier, YouTubing, how to do this, how to do that, you know. So we just want to see every one of you, you know, come from awesome families. You must really have a lot of good love for the way of life. You know, you come over here, you travel many miles, you know. Maybe you even put in for a workshop, maybe over here, came on travel or however it may be, but you're here. And so really appreciate that, you know. And a lot of times, you know, a lot of our relatives out there, you know, don't really salve the business part, you know, and they just kind of stay in the back and just wait till this teepee goes up. And that's what it's not all about. Like we said yesterday, it's not all about the drumming, the singing, you know, the nice feathers and all that. You know, prayer is number one, and our good medicine, you know, is number one, you know. So we try to keep that mindset going and in a nice way. And then all what happened with this national organization, we hear a lot of things, you know, back there, a lot of differences, and a lot of kind of things like that. But, you know, that's back there, you know. Here we are in a new leadership, a new vibe, new energy, you know, trying to kind of revive these things, you know. We hear a lot of things out there, you know, and one of them said, oh, the big shots. What is a big shot anyway? Can someone define that?
Like a boss.
What's a big shot?
Like a boss.
Oh. Anyways, we hear that all the time, and we don't claim to be that, you know. What we claim to be is God's vessel, God's instrument, God's medicines, instruments to re-express, you know, what needs to be said, you know, and just it's all on paper. Everything's public record. Everything's, you know, so a lot of them too. And this is I just want to read something real quick, and then we'll turn it over to our delegates. Give them maybe 5 minutes, so we'll give you guys a little 5 minutes, maybe from your respective states. Give them a little quick update. I'm going to read something here. Native American Church Charter Organizational Timeline. An early advocacy and legal struggle in the early 1900s. Father Parker testified defending Indian defendants that were prosecuted for peyote use. In the 1908 Oklahoma repealed the peyote And then 1909 around to 1937, it renewed the anti-peyote legislation attempts. No action was taken. Then federal legislative attempts around 1960. First national campaign for federal protection was unsuccessful. 1936, the BIA changes position. Still no federal law. So the result, Native American Church pursued state level protection as states outlawed the peyote. So the formation of a church organization kind of basically said, hey, you guys need to get incorporated, get established. Let them know that you're a legit, organization or church or prayer or way of life. So they won't be bothering you. So around 1910, intertribal meetings started to form, like what we're doing here. And started to form and a unified church. Why did they put church in there was because that's how they figured it would be for us, like a vehicle, a religion. We all know it's not a religion to us, it's our way of life. So as time went along, so October 10th, 1918, Native American Church incorporated under Oklahoma law. So moving forward on the national charter, 1923 attempt to secure national charter from Congress. It was unsuccessful. So 1934, Oklahoma chartered amended to authorize tribal groups, all of us, intertribal nations and affiliated churches in the U.S. as a national organization established. 1950, Native American Church incorporated as the Native American Church of the United States. And I hear there's actually a Native American Church of the United States still functioning. You guys hear that? I heard there's a Native American Church of the United States still functioning. Then I was kind of wondering, how are they functioning if it's mended? So I'll keep going. Okay. And then 1955, the church is incorporated under the laws of the state of Oklahoma. The original articles of incorporation were filed at the office of the state secretary in the state Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, April 7, 1950, under the name of Native American Church of the United States, and subsequently amended October 12, 1955 to its current name, the Native American Church of North America, Inc. Why? It was to include our right here relatives, this flag, and our First Nation relatives. Because this fireplaces, this way of life, is spread like kind of wildfire. So we give our whole heartfelt thanks to our Southern Plain relatives, right? You would think. We have some here, Apaches, kind of one of the first ones, that come around. So it's really nice to see that he's here, as well. And then my wife's always expressing that on her female water woman voice, So I just want to say that. So here we are, relatives. Some of you always wanted to know the timeline. NACNA Inc. I kind of just read it for you right here. So from then on, we established a 501c3 around 1955. So here we are today. The expansion beyond U.S. borders. Name change to Native American Church of North America, Canada, and Mexico, Inc., NACNA. Now today there's 26 chapters affiliated with the national organization. We have 12 states and 3 provinces: Arizona, Iowa, Montana, Nebraska, New Mexico, New York, North Dakota, South Dakota, Texas, Utah, Wisconsin, Wyoming, Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan. Texas remains the only legal peyote source in the U.S. And NACNA has support resolutions from COLT, Coalition of Large Tribes, NCAI, Great Plains Tribal Chairman Association, the United Tribes of North Dakota, Great Lakes Intertribal Council, Rocky Mountain Tribal Leaders Council, affiliated tribes of the Northwest, and United Indian Nations of Oklahoma. Is that how it says? UINO? Yeah. And yeah, Native American Church of Oklahoma, and the Ho-Chunk Nation, the Pawnee Tribal Nation, Apache Tribal Nation, Arapaho Tribe of Wyoming, Oglala Nation, MHA Nation. You know, that's just the name of the few of the actually tribal resolutions that have our support. Because when we go to DC, they say, does your tribe support it? And boom, we show them all these resolutions. So we ain't going up there and just kind of shooting from the hip. We got to have our ducks in a row when we go up there. And it's really nice that everyone, you know, it's nice to see our NAC relatives. You know, we could be just like that as well. And a lot of them are educated, and the ones over there on DC, it's really nice to see our own people on this Western education, you know, come back at them, you know, and they're just like, they kind of get overwhelmed, or they don't know how to answer, you know, because when they put a question at us and somebody's right there, you know, like a team, like a whole court press, you know, it's really awesome. So from then on, you know, advocating protection of the Peyote Muscalin American Indian Religious Freedom Act of '94 is being violated daily. What you think? Being violated is medicine? Like, just like what they were saying, disturbance, getting plowed up, you know, all those kind of things. So NACNA is encouraging tribal governments to implement the resolutions and needs more enforcement. It's not just peyote now. It's not just peyote now. It's all our medicines, all our ceremonies, sacred sites, our language, and traditional foods. So I just want to share that with you here. And guys want to take a break? You can take a break. Maybe a 10-minute break. Then when we come back, we'll reconvene with the delegates. So it's 12:20, so about 12:30, we'll commend you for being that leadership, that role that you have. Trying your best to for your community there. You know, whether it be at health, education, housing, whatever it may be. But same time, we had you speak at the National Congress of American Indians, 82nd Annual in Seattle, and we had a tribal leadership panel. And then you got to express yourself, and we want to say thank you for that. So I know it's Friday the 13th. That's kind of a scary movie, kind of a day here today. But nevertheless, you know, we're still going forward. Can you hear me good, Lord? Okay. So at this time, my good relatives, this is some of the delegation here. We have our editor-in-chief, Mr. Terry Dash over here. And then we have some peyote distributors here. And then we have some delegates of different various states, Arizona, North Dakota, Canada, New Mexico, and Texas here. So at this time, my good relatives, this is our Kiowa Tribal Chairman, Lord Spotted. So as the Native American Church, you know, I just wanted him to express what he's doing within his community, you know, taking these initial steps. The Kiowa tribe is taking to protect the traditional knowledge and the intellectual property. So I'll turn this time over to you, Mr. Spotted.
Hello. Well, first of all, thank you for the honor to speak to you all. I wish I was there speaking to you, but hopefully you can all hear me. Let me sound check. Pancho, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we're turning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good to see everybody, and it's an honor to be asked to talk about what we're trying to do with our tribe there in southwest Oklahoma, to try to fix ourselves. And so, first of all, when I first came on as a tribal chairman 3.5 years ago, I made a declaration to our people that we are an alcohol drug-free administration. The chairman, the vice chairman, and I are leading that way. We asked our legislators, we required a pledge from our directors, program directors, and our staff to sign a pledge for drug and alcohol free while we're at work representing the Kiowa tribe. And we don't sponsor any event that serves alcohol. So again, I keep saying I'm 77 years old, and I've never seen one instance for consuming consuming alcohol. Never good for one of our Kiowas or any of our Indian people. So it's a bad thing and poison. We should look at it that way. So we're trying to treat it like that. And the poison that's destroying us as Indian people. But more importantly than that, I'm tired of seeing ourselves suffer from this addiction, falls to drugs and alcohol too much in our communities. Our children are growing up 100% exposed to alcohol and drug abuse from us, as elders, as adults. We teach them to continue the cycle of harm to ourselves. And so we're trying to break that cycle, starting right now, today. Teach our kids, encourage them that to be Kiowa, to be drug and alcohol free, be connected to Dog King, the Creator, God, and their life, so that their life could be better. So that's a big initiative. It's a big initiative that we're calling the Kiowa Healing Way. Because as you all know in your community, we have drug and alcohol treatment programs. We have talking circles. We have behavioral health support. We have all these programs that treat the symptoms of what's broken inside of us. But we often forget about treating what's broken, going inside our spirit, our heart, try to fix that first, and then all the other symptoms can be addressed and start being properly. And so that's why we're hoping that will come out of creating Kiowa Healing Way to fix ourselves from inside out, starting with the number one step, the most important step in our healing process is to have every one of our people develop their personal relationship and connection to Dog King, God, Creator. Because that's the number one step, I think, through the healing process. And so Kiowa Healing Way will bring our people to get their relationship with Dog King. That's the number one step. Then we need to teach them how to be proud of who we are. Strong. The men need to be strong. You know, I found out recently it's a global phenomenon of fatherless families. And this initiative called The World Needs a Father. The men need to help raise their children, be part of the family structure. And back in the day, for us, we had a strong warrior society where the men were taught from young boys responsibility, trained to protect their families and their tribe through our 6 warrior society structure. But that was destroyed. But we're going to try to return some of that warrior spirit of society back to our people, our men, that have them stand up strong warriors. And a modern warrior will be protecting their family, be a part of their family structure, raise their children that they help bring into the world. Too many of them are absent. We all see that. Our family structure is a single mother, find her best to raise their children alone. Our men need to be there. So we try to bring all this as part of our Kiowa Healing Way process. It's going to be a big process, but we got to start somewhere. We're starting that. And so I hired a person, a regular staff position called a Kiowa Healing Way Director. And that person is going to start putting together the strategic plan to start figuring out what it's going to take to fix ourselves from the inside out. We're engaging elder advisors to be a part of that. We're engaging our cultural leaders to be a part of that. We're engaging our Christian leaders to be a part of that, but more importantly, we're engaging our Native American church leaders to be a part of that. Because that's more Kiowa-centric, more Native-centric than the other religions, but it's got to be a way to engage our people to accept God in their life, in their heart, in their spirit, so that we can be healthy again, strong. And so that's all part of our Kiowa Native Way initiative that we're starting here in Southwest Oklahoma. I don't know how long it's going to take us to put it together. I might not be around to see it. But we're starting. And we're relying very heavily on our Kiowa chapter of the Native American Church to be integral to that Kiowa Native Way process. Because we sing our own Kiowa songs in our language, in the Kiwi, and we reach up to Dog Key and Dog County, Jesus Christ, actually, in our chapter. So we do reach up and connect. And so I want to have our people learn about that more and more. Myself, when I came on as chairman, I never have been at a Native American Church Kiowa chapter meeting until I was chairman, and our leaders, our Native American Church leaders, wanted to have a prayer service for the new leadership, American chairman and vice chairman. So I went to that meeting, and I was spiritually uplifted. I was glad they invited me because I was raised as a Christian. And as you know, back in the day when those missionaries brought Christianity to us, Indian people, they kind of messed up the message. They told us we have to be like them instead of being like ourselves, become a Christian and accept Christ. That was wrong. That message was wrong. And so we need to get beyond that and break that message. Because God created us to be Kiowa, created you to be re-affiliated or whatever other tribe you are. God created us in His image. We look like Him and to be Indians. And so we don't need to be ashamed and turn our back on who we are to become Christian. So we need to clean up that message. But first of all, we need to embrace our people and hold up our Native American church chapter and make it more, have a bigger presence in our people, fixing us inside out, our spirit. And so that's the big issue that our Kiowa Native Way is going to play here in our community. And I rely on God's trust that God will help us find the answer, to start fixing our people again, from the inside out, what's broken, then we can treat the symptoms easily. So that's where we're coming from. And so I really appreciate the effort that all of you are doing in your communities to bring and keep the spiritual, healthy spiritual relationship with God, with God, the Creator, with your people. We're trying to do that here with ours as well. So I hope for that. And on the cultural side of it, as many of you probably know, there's a lot of white anthropologists that come around from our communities to talk to our elders. Buy them a steak dinner or something. Get a lot of knowledge, and they take notes, they record it, and they take it with them. They publish a book, and they make money, and they don't give us anything. We're going to stop that. We're creating the Kiowa Chronicles, Incorporated, a formal business. And we're going to start publishing material about ourselves, by ourselves. And we're going to publish these materials, make money, and pay our people that share this knowledge to us, and compensate them for what they know, compensate them for what they wrote, compensate them for the pictures and the images, things that we will market, share with the world, who we are as Kiowa people in our own way. We're going to start marketing that ourselves and paying our Kiowa citizens royalties for what they share with us, and get contracts so that if I'm gone as the Kiowa leader, the next leader will be obligated to compensate them fairly, treat them fairly, do a contract of everyone, every Kiowa that comes with information that we publish and make money from. They will get the bulk of the revenue, and we'll get a portion of it by paying for our efforts to market it. And we'll stop these white people, these anthropologists from coming out of the communities. They have to come to us and get a contract or agreement before they go and talk to anybody. So that's to be our way of protecting what's ours, our culture, our history, our knowledge. We have to protect it in a white man's way with contracts and agreements that hold these people accountable. If they make money, they have to share in that wealth to the people that they got the information from. So that's what we're going to do with Kiowa Chronicle. But it all ties together. And again, this is taking advantage of my tools to protect what's ours and keep our culture the way we want it to. And we don't let people just go out there and just do anything with it. Because there are people that do that. People that adopt themselves as tribal people, practice cultural activities as if they were part of our tribe, if they're in another country. We got to start managing that ourselves and taking control of that and hold these people accountable. So Kiowa Chronicles is a business that we're going to use to manage that for ourselves, take advantage for that. So those are two major initiatives that we will hold ourselves up and empower ourselves to take care of what knowledge that we still have left. Give that knowledge from our elders, because every one of our elders that passes takes a lot of knowledge with them that we haven't tapped to. It's our fault. So we need to take advantage of that, treat them with respect, and pay them. Well, our elders need extra money too, like everybody else. So that's the effort of the Kiowa Chronicles. That was an idea that was created not by me, but one of the elders that's gone now. He wanted to do this. And so I'm honored this person continuing this effort with our people. So I don't know if there's anything else Pancho just want me to speak to.
Yeah.
Any questions, whatever. I'm here to answer them.
Okay, well, we appreciate all your information and kind of a little update. You as the chairman, and then taking the initiative upon one of the tribal members that wanted to kind of get this going here within your community. You know, I thought that was really nice, you know, when we first visit, and then I think all our tribes and nations should do that as tribal leadership and within their communities. You know, so I'll turn this time over here. Anybody have a question? Okay, we've got a question here.
No, I just want to say hello, Mr. Lawrence Potiphar. I don't know if you remember me. I'm Isaac Papa Bear Cardenas. I'm the Texas delegate at large for Native American Church of North America. I'm also the tribal CONA for the Native American, for our Yanaguana Native American Church of the Americas in San Antonio, Texas. One of our tribal leaders, Ray Hernandez, and our executive director, and myself, and others, our president, Javier Cervantes of our Native American Church. We presented you with a box of medicine and gifts, and they really want to talk to you. They want to share some knowledge with you. So if you could make yourself available, I could tell them that you're ready to receive the call.
Yes, I remember that well, and I appreciate you making that trip from Trinity, Oklahoma. Got the headquarters, visiting with us, honoring us, and so I hope
we want to support you. We want to make more trips like that.
Oh,
yes.
I hope.
Yes. So again, that knowledge that you shared with us is important. You're right in everything, and taking ownership of the culture, the language. You're right, because a lot of people are making money where our nations really deserve that. So I want to congratulate you and the divine providence that you were able to walk into that TV and receive that spiritual. I follow you on Facebook. I see you out there with societies. I see how everyone respects you. So let us know that you have a home in San Antonio. You opened up a Native American Church of North America central office in our agency. So we're even closer to you. So we want to let you know that you have a home there. We'll receive you there. Anything you need, our office will be able to handle that, and also our tribe. Top it up.
Okay. Oh, appreciate that. Good to see you again. Oh, yeah.
All right, anyone else, any questions? Concerns, we just want to say thank you again, Chairman Spartanburg, for all what you're doing in the community. I know it's really, I think that's a good idea that, a lot of tribes should do this, because within one of the communities back home, Standing Rock, sad to say that, they got taken, by two non-natives that went there just to preserve their language. So they went around and interviewed all the elders. Pretty soon they start asking them about stories, and all this is being recorded. Pretty soon they asked them about society songs. Pretty soon healing songs, and all this is being recorded. They went around, and then pretty soon they come around with a piece of paper signing a consent. So they went around, and at the same time they have that with them, the money, and then at the same time some of our elders and some of our people, they don't have a job or don't have, income. So yeah, might take that, but sad to say, when they sign a piece of paper, now those two non-natives have rights over their society, their family songs. So we don't want that to take effect on any of our. So I really commend you for doing what you're doing, and maybe it'll take a good ripple effect throughout our nation. That all our tribes and nations should do that. Because now in that Standing Rock area, now they so when these people want to sing their honor songs at a powwow, and then there they are, they don't, they could get fined or sued or however it may be. So they got they just gave their whole family tree away. Yeah, so that's just something that I wanted to share, with you and then with the people here. So, but I just wanted to say thank you. I'm kind of talking a little bit more for our Brian to get on here. I don't know, he's honeymooning, probably honeymooning right now. So, but yeah, so. But this is our good, kind, loving relatives that traveled many miles to be here. So we have a question. Can you come on up?
No, I was just waving.
Oh, okay. Okay. Here we are. All these good relatives took a little time away. And I'm really glad and thankful. I know you're busy there, but you took a little time for us. A little humble organization that we're still trying to keep the prayers, still trying to keep our way of life going here. So I just want to say thank you, for taking that time here. So no more any questions here. If not, well, I think any closing comments here? If not, we'll.
Yeah, I just want to say, power language. Stay with it. Keep it up. Stay strong. Keep our religions in your own way. Share that with people. Hopefully more and more of your people will come and get healed through developing their relationship with God and with God's King in their own way. And so we got a long ways to go, but we got to support each other as much as we can. As tribal people, different tribes, we need to support each other, and we need to support the organization of the Native American Church, not supporting our 100%, our local Native American Church chapter here, supporting them, trying to find money to buy them a new teepee. As you know, you guys use teepees a lot, and so you need teepees on a regular basis. So we're trying to find them a new teepee to start having their ceremonies, a new teepee, and continue and engage more. We got a full teepee every time they have a meeting here. So that's good. That's a good sign. So keep up the good work in your community. We're all brothers and sisters, created by the same God. Let's tell them people. Keep up the good work. No. Later. All right. Okay, we're going to continue. Okay, we got
I'd just like to say good afternoon to all of you, my relatives. Greet you good feelings. We just arrived. My wife, my children, my daughter, my grandchildren, and some of them are coming about again. So I just want to tell you that my dad, Wilson Around Jr., sent his greeting. He's 94 years of age. You might say 94 years young. He still goes to ceremony. Sit with him. He still sings. He has that voice. He's still strong for us. The only thing is, it's physical. Right here. Sometimes he get up by himself. So I take him over there, support him, pick him up. Then you have to support him all the way. That's what he said. He said, say hello and greet my relatives with good feeling. All of them. My hearty handshake and my good heart, good feelings. I'm going to extend them to them over here, Rio Grande City. This quarterly business meeting down here. I wish I could make it, but he said, I can't travel that far. My mom is in the same condition. So I just like to tell you brought my wife and my children along, my grandchildren, to represent him.
Yeah.
So he's my dad. He raised me. He raised me. I just like to say that. Thank you, brother.
Okay. All right, thank you for the good expression there, Mr. Martin. So, Lawrence, we're going to continue on. In the meantime, one more.
I just want to say good afternoon, Mr. Spotted Bird. Thank you so much for your words. If you remember me, Tuki Kacho's wife and part Kaiwa as well. And I'm proud. I'm proud today. We need a lot more God-fearing people in positions to lead our tribes and our church. So I just want to express to you how proud I am of you for doing what you're doing for our people, and most of all that you're God-fearing and leading our people in a good way, and maybe through our prayers and your hard work, it'll rub off on many tribes that need that as well, so I just wanted to express that. Thank you for all that you're doing and all your love and your prayers answered that you pray for, and I'm really proud of you as well as my little brother over here, Darrell Cooper, our Apache people. He made it down here to represent and support and do his best too, as a young man with good teachings, from our uncles and grandpas, things like that. That's the way this next generation is going to keep it going, by listening and learning and following and continuing on those good teachings for our children and our grandchildren. So I just want to say I hold to you. You make me proud, and thank you.
Oh, that's good. Thank you.
Okay. All right, we're gonna continue on, and then stay on and kind of listen. Well, we're just about done here. We're just waiting on Mr. Wilson.
Uncle.
Yeah.
I have to switch the Zoom link because he's on tomorrow's link, so I'm going to do that right now.
Okay.
Okay. All right, well, I have to run.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you all. And hey, one more thing. If you have good things that are happening in your community that are fixing your people, give me a call. Howard Drive, Parkville, Oklahoma, and share that information. You can use it. Share good with each other, I hope.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Oh.
So, Mr. Wilson, he has tomorrow's link, so we're trying to get him on into the link that's supposed to be for Friday here today. So, in the meantime, I just want to thank everyone again. There's a sign-up sheet there, agenda there. We got Mr. Ryan Wilson and this Native American Church North America Legislative Chair. He's going to give us an update on the National Congress of American Indians the winter session that took place here in DC just a few days ago. And then he's going to shed some light on the efforts that's happening here. So in a few moments here, we'll kind of get started with that here. But Very brother. Hey, yeah, we had the wrong week. We pushed it to Saturday one.
Okay.
We're here. This is the work session here. I don't know if you can see everyone here. Let me see.
No, I just have a blank thing, but nonetheless.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you real good.
Lovely. How did you do that? There you go. Sign up.
There you are.
All right.
All right, well, good day, relatives. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Good enough?
You guys can't hear me. There's some chairs right here. You guys can come up to the front.
Guys, circle up. We'll have a round table here in discussion. Don't be shy. I always tell Indian kids, if you want to get good grades in college, sit in the front row with the Asians who. That's the best advice I could ever give an Indian student. And then on Friday night, when everybody's out socializing, be in the library studying for Saturday night too. You'll never go wrong. Yeah. Are we good to go?
Yeah, so at this time, over here, Ryan Wilson, he's our NACNA legislative chair. He's going to give us some updates. So, at this time over here to him. All right,
Well,
here.
Okay, first what I'll do is just kind of explain how the POE task force went. And then from there, I'll provide a little bit of commentary. And then I had a suggestion as well. Brother, I don't know if I sent you a link to that Indians.com article. I don't know if you could, when I'm done, maybe put it up on the thing and share that with everybody too. If you got that all right, I sent it to you. I texted it to you, the link for that. But on Tuesday, February 10th, we reconvened the National Congress of American Indians POE Task Force Working Group. And we had a very good crowd there. Everybody got along really well. And we had a series of presentations. So I'm going to run those down real quick for you guys. And we met for about 2.5 hours over there. And then there's a little updates throughout the week on NCAI I'll go over as well. So the first presentation we had was from the chairman of the Apache tribe of Oklahoma, and that was Darrell Cooper. And he got up on what we've been running as a series of tribal leaders panels when we convened the task force and the work.
He's here, brother.
Is he here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. I won't lie about him then. Should I just not give you a report, Darrell, or do you want me to say something good? It's up to you.
He said, go ahead.
Okay. So he represented this tribal leadership there, and then we also had another person from the Osage Congress councilman there that was in attendance, a tribal leader, and then some Lipan Apache folks as well on the tribal leadership part. And there's a few other tribal leaders that were in there, and then the rest were just kind of stakeholders. And he'll go into greater sharing, but what he explained to them was to take advantage of some of the talking points we presented and some of the draft resolutions that we presented. And he explained that the Apache tribe of Oklahoma has endorsed the policy agendas for NACNA and the National Congress of American Indians POE Working Group 2 on the decriminalization issues and conservation issues as well. So I'll just kind of say that a little bit, but we sure appreciated you being there, Darrell, and appreciated your sincerity as well as how you shared your story on your journey to this medicine, and it kind of uplifting for all of us. So the other part we're looking at is our young leadership and how's that going to be, down the road with tribal leadership. And it seems like not only are you representing this medicine good, but you're representing your generation good as well. And not trying to be negative in any way, but a lot of us have a ton of concern for what the future leadership is going to look like in Indian country, and what are they going to care about? Are they going to care about
I'm gonna take my Yankee hat off here. Are they gonna care about casinos and drilling oil and coal and are they gonna care about, you know, online betting and gambling, and I could go on and on and on and on, all the issues facing our tribal leadership. Or are they going to really care about protecting our young people's expression spiritually and spaces that'll still be left for them to pray? Are they going to care about the mental well-being of our young people? Are they going to care about really how's it going to be for them? What's their foundation going to be? So our tribal leader that came to us represents that thought and that mind, and I think he's going to really grow into that role as the years go by. And I'm not wishing that stress on you, Darrell, but we really appreciate you. That's what I wanted to say. And kind of our way, you know, we can't really brag about ourselves or our relatives, so I want to brag you up. You did a really good job, and we sure appreciated it, and kudos to you. So I'll put a comma on it insofar as that presentation. And then we moved on over to Ryan Sandoval, and I don't know if Ryan's going to report out too, brother, if he made it on the agenda. If he made it
tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow. So I'm still a little bit of his thunder. What Ryan had some really good graphics, some really good PowerPoint presentations, and that it helps us. Like, you can have people say things, and sometimes after a while it just becomes talking head, and all you're hearing is the words, and it's hard to put it together. But what he did was he showed in the whole country where mescaline was being threatened through legalization, or another word for it is decriminalization. So he had that chart of the whole country of America blown up, and he was explaining where these legalization initiatives are. And to further enhance it, we were talking about, well, who's funding as well. You don't wake up one day in the state of Colorado, that, you know, especially if you're a pothead or something, you know, you're not going to wake up and say, wow, I want to legalize this drug and start an initiative. They all come from an organized, well-funded interest group. And the interest group that's funding this and supporting it and pushing it, that's Dr. Bronner's group, the Code Switch group, Rick Dobbins at MAPS, and that cast of characters. And so they're investing real dollars into these state initiatives to gain signatures, and if they can get enough signatures like they did in the state of Alaska, they'll be on the ballot. Once it's on the ballot, it's up to the citizens if they're going to approve the legalization of these drugs in their states. So this is kind of what we're dealing with here, and he gave a really good rundown on that, and it kind of wakes you up when you see all the states, and there's an estimation now. At some point in our lifetimes, all of us, every state in the union is going to have a decriminalization ballot going at some point. And, you know, it's really going to be, can we keep mescaline off those ballots, off of those initiatives? Can we continue to keep peyote off of it as well? And it struck to the heart of what we're really dealing with here is they all want peyote, but they know there's so much legal consequences with it, so they just switch the word out. And it's kind of like, we got Valentine's coming up, right? So my sister, she's gonna look at my brother John, and she's gonna say, I love you, you know, and he's gonna try to top her because he always kind of tops everybody. He's gonna say, I cherish and love you, you know. But cherish and love, it's the same thing. It's the same meaning, it's the same intent, it's the same, in English, this is the same. Mescaline, peyote, it's the same. And what we're trying to explain to people is there's no differentiation from it by law and order. And Dr. Renzo Snyder even told us, even in toxology labs, when someone comes into the ER, they don't even have a measurement tool yet to define what's mescaline versus what's peyote. what's synthetic mescaline versus what's peyote, what's San Pedro cactus mescaline versus what's peyote, lucifora, Williamside mescaline. So what we're trying to do is put a comms plan together to really help educate people about, you legalize mescaline, you're legalizing peyote. And then that's kind of what Ryan talked about, and he'll go into greater depth and explain that out a little bit more, but we're starting now to kind of clarify our position on it better. And in the Large Land-Based Tribes Task Force, they're going to meet again in about 20 days. They're going to have an online Zoom meeting. They'll be taking up an amendment coming from Sean Clark, which essentially amends our Sacramento resolution from National Congress of American Indians 3 years ago. I don't know if it was 3 years ago or 4 years ago now, John, but that was the one on federal preemption, and then it's the position of the National Congress of American Indians to object to state intrusions on federal Indian law and to object to the legalization of any byproduct of peyote. And what we're going to put in there as an amendment to that resolution is mescaline, that they're going to oppose any form of mescaline, including synthetic mescaline. So that way it'll be clarified that that's the position of the tribal leadership throughout the land, and that's what we're doing. And to just give you guys a backdrop about that, and I don't know, are we like live everywhere in the country or?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Let it rip.
Okay, so what was offensive in years ago, Darrell, I was down there in Oklahoma 4 years ago or so, almost 5 years ago, I think now, with Two Bears, and we were presenting at the Native American Church of Oklahoma convention, and our good friends on the other side of the aisle were with us too. And what I explained is, how dare you put yourselves in a position where you're negotiating on behalf of sovereign nations, whether a state legislator can include mescaline. And the idea here is you're not authorized by any tribe to do that, or to have a say in that. You're a nonprofit, and to go into the state legislative chambers and use peyote as a bargaining chip, how dare you? Where's your ethics? Where's your morals? Where's your ability to even look in the mirror? And to pretend like you own this medicine and that you own mescaline in a way that it's a bargaining chip and that you can negotiate with the state legislator and then give yourself a pat on the back because instead of putting peyote in the bill, they put mescaline in the bill. And then to try to spoon feed the rest of Indian country that was a good thing, it's not. And that's why the governor of California, the great state of California, vetoed the bill. He knew his law and order capacity would be swamped out by illicit street drugs, black marketed drugs, that there was no way to enforce this initiative, that they didn't have the ability to run around the state of California with chem labs in the back of squad cars to test every little substance that they catch somebody with. And it's just common sense. But somehow Steve Moore and his bunch made it sound really nice, and we stood up and we opposed that, and we still stand by that. Mescaline is not up for grabs for that bunch to say it's okay to be in these state initiatives. And this is what we're clarifying at National Congress of American Indians and also at NACNA. And the bottom line is this: you pass a bill, and this is what these legislators do, they pass bills, but there's no mechanism that they subsequently pass to enforce the bill. So, in other words, did they equip their police force with the ability to differentiate what these drugs are? Did they equip them with more street cops? Did they equip the schools with drug dogs when the kids come into school, whatever they're doing? Are they doing surveillance so that people aren't going to lace these other drugs with the other drugs? And how are they going to do that? And remember, relatives, in Indian country, every week, we're burying our own kids from fentanyl. Fentanyl is a medicine. It's supposed to help you come down from other drugs. But because it gets laced, because it gets altered, and because people use it in excess, what else do we have now? Where they're passing out Narcan cans everywhere, this and that. And it gets to the point where, as peyote people, we all know our rules, unwritten rules. We all know we're supposed to be clean. Not only keep our houses clean, but we're supposed to live a clean life. How in the heck did we get from those unwritten spiritual laws of conduct to that now we have a little group of peyote people running around advocating for drugs and advocating for the legalization of these drugs? And that's where we're at. This is where, what we're talking about, our tribal values and what we stand for, what we were taught, how it was passed to us, how we know it. And so our thing is, no thanks, Steve. And we, not only that, but we brought up the issue, you used our logo without our consent, without our authorization. You created the appearance that we were also supportive of these drug deals, which we're not. So this is all, there's been this long educational process on clarifying all of that. And that was, that's just part of what's going on now, and it's going to be more states. So Alaska is on the ballot in Alaska. What do Alaska natives know about mescaline? This much, 0. Don't come from a culture that had peyote or anything like that, but yet it's being pushed up there. And it's really sad, and that's what's going to happen, all over the place. And so that's what we're looking at is how do you have a 50-state strategy on educating state legislatures, how do you educate voters? We can't do it ourselves. We don't even have we don't have the capacity or the resources. You have to partner with other organizations. This is where National Congress of American Indians comes in. And they too don't have the capacity, so they have to, we have to branch out, we have to have our people look at it. And I think, I had a good talk with the senators of the great state of Alaska, and this is what we got to do is when you get a step up at the plate, you got to hit a home run. We can't just have bunts anymore or singles. So if we get opportunities with people of influence in these states, we have to educate them on what our stance is on, what our policy is on, and what our people want. And that's just respect and deference and comity, and have an understanding that just because so-and-so said it was okay, that doesn't mean it's okay. There's authoritative bodies, the tribes, the historic NAC organizations as well, the democracies that we all rely on. So that's a little bit about what Ryan Sandoval, and he'll dive a little bit deeper. And anyone has a question, or you can bring it up when I'm finished here, and we'll do that. And then, brother, that link I sent you, what I wanted you to put that up on is that was when me and you visited with Indian Country the other week. That's what I was talking about with the Native Children's Agenda and the bill that Senator Murkowski is going to be introducing. And she's the chairwoman of the Senate Committee on Indian Affairs. So we had that big reception, and the MHA Nation gave her an Indian name, and some gifts, acknowledgments in the name of our late elder Alex Potter. But in that process, all of Indian Country gathered through their organizations at that reception, and it was really outstanding. And with the relationships made with the staff, with the senator, who I've known for 25 years now, we've made some good inroads there. So moving on, Greg Smith was the next presenter, and what I talked about the other week was there's a memorandum that started floating around back in early December, and we got our hands on it at the end of the month and started reading through it. But it was about race-based constitutionality of Department of Education programs. went through that memo and dissected it, the parts that dealt with peyote. So the peyote exemption for us ended up in that memo in 4 different locations of that. And what it was a solicitor for the Department of Justice offered this to attack programs coming out of the Department of Education that were designed for students of color. And they have a pre-decided decision, the Trump administration, that they want to dismantle not only the Department of Education, but also programs in colleges that are specifically designed, for American Indian students too, and or what they call native serving institutions. And so we went through that whole thing, and what was scary, Craig is an outstanding lawyer, and Justin will be looking at this as well, and Justin will have his viewpoints on it too. But the exemption, so you got to understand, this didn't happen in a vacuum. These are very hateful people that want to take away hard fought for rights, not only for American Indians, but for ethnic people in general. And this idea that you could kind of cherry pick laws and Supreme Court rulings over a couple centuries and cherry pick them to try to make a point that somehow way you're damaging non-Indians if you're not treating them equal. And equal means equal. What equal means is you can't have affirmative action to enroll students of color in institutions of higher learning. It means you can't have scholarships that are just designed for them. You can't have counseling programs. This is when they started doing the DEI attacks. And all of these universities all over the country were scared that the administration was going to pull their funding. So on their own, they just started eliminating their minority services, their student services, their American Indian student areas, and things like that. And so what ended up in there somehow was that peyote exemption. So what I want you to understand is this: the Sacred Plan Alliance, which had been advertising that they were going to sue the DEA, that's over exemption, and they want equal rights to exemptions for psychedelic sacraments, psychedelic drugs, in the name of religion that the Indian gets through peyote. And what they're saying in this ruling is that the exemption that the American Indian is getting is on shaky ground, and that anybody should, ultimately, if we're equal, and they cite the statutes, they cite in the Constitution equal protections under the law, and all of that. And this is what these guys are doing is they figured out a way, not just over the Religious Restoration Act, Religious Freedom Restoration Act, but in their own way, where they believe there's vulnerabilities within the DEA and the Department of Justice that should allow them access to psychedelics for their prayer. And never mind you that they're not bona fide religions. They're made up religions. These are religions that are made up out of thin air, or they're stolen from us. And every step of the way, there's an Indian behind the curtain showing the non-Indians how to do something, whether that's cedar or a prayer or bless yourself with the eagle feather or songs or protocols, how to conduct a meeting, all of that. It's getting to the point now that you read the American Indian Religious Freedom Act amendments in '94. They talk about bona fide ceremony, bona fide religion. So the word bona fide now is really going to have to get defined by DEA. What does that actually mean? And then us too, we have to be careful. Like, do we have a right to say what's bona fide and what isn't? And this is where it's really getting sketchy. I feel confident in saying they're made up religions, and the reason why is because they monetize them, and that's through MAPS. And so, I didn't look at the MAPS agenda this year. I know some of our relatives were over at MAPS sharing traditional knowledge and sharing the knowledge with the non-Indians, but when I looked at the agenda in 23, there was dozens, not just one or two, but dozens of workshops and seminars on sincere psychedelic sacraments, on 501c3 psychedelic churches, on insurance liability for sincere psychedelic churches. And now, I actually don't know if we can question somebody's sincerity. I mean, that's kind of between them and the Creator. But I think we can question and why relatives were they worried about insurance? And there were several workshops on insurance and liability and protection and getting bonded and indemnits for your board. You know why? Let me see a show of hands. Does everybody remember Sedona? Yeah. There's some back there. Okay, good. Don't be shy. Yeah. So they had a Villadonna guy in there running sweat for his retreat. And, anyways, they're paying big money to be in there. And he ended up killing him. And then there was a long trial about it. And, you know, he was found guilty, I believe, for manslaughter. I'm not sure exactly what. It wasn't like first-degree murder, but he ended up, you know, killing these people. And that's what's going to happen is in these churches, not just people getting hurt like that, but there's going to be sexual assaults. There's going to be inappropriate stuff going on, and they're trying to get ready for that. And now Cody Swift just gave the Sacred Plan Alliance $20,000 for an ethics campaign. And I was kind of excited about that. I thought, man, that'd be cool. Someone's going to have some ethics finally. And what I found out from the director was it's basically so they can create their own internal guardrails and to have a standard of conduct and to have clear lines of accountability and authority if there's some issues that come up with ethics in there. So what I was hoping they would have told me is that ethics means don't steal from people, don't appropriate their religions, don't arrogate their way of life for your own. If you're going to do something like that ethically, you'd have consent, not consent from a nonprofit that wants to get money from philanthropic people that have an interest in this, but consent from the tribes that hold this traditional knowledge. The tribes that pass these ways on through their chosen people and families, you know, throughout the generations. Well, we all know that that's impossible. Nobody's going to consent to allowing that. So that's what I thought they meant by ethics. But what they mean is how do we cover ourselves? And that's interesting too, and that's important. But that's not what Cody was investing in. So the you know what I'm really getting at here is we're in trouble with relatives, and it's coming from a lot of different directions, and we're taking incoming, you know, because of our stance on things. But we gotta hold the line, and you know we gotta hold the line. We can't buckle, we can't waver, we can't be scared or anything like that. And what we gotta really work with is the DEA on defining what a bona fide religion is. We need to work with the Department of Justice to kind of bring in higher ups on this, and we gotta learn it ourselves. So going back to the Smith case, going back there, I want you to know this. I'm not trying to sound condescending, but all of those old men, I'm not going to say their names, but you guys all know all those old guys that were part of that offered congressional testimony, that put their best clothes on and got on a plane and flew to D.C., or they went to field hearings that Senator Illinois was chairing out in Indian country. Each one of them got help from relatives, lawyers, and interpreted and translated and understood it backwards and forwards. The Controlled Substances Act, the Smith case, the 78 ARFA, what they wanted to do with the 94 Amendment. And this is what is a challenge to us. This is what we gotta do. We gotta figure this out. We gotta figure out where this administration is trying to go with this. And we gotta figure out strategically, and not just us NACNA, all of us. That's everybody. And we gotta figure out, you know, what's our best plan of action here to navigate these choppy waters that we found ourselves in now. And so what we're gonna do through NCI in 2 weeks, we're gonna do an emergency briefing from their Attorney General at NCI, Lenny Findings, he's very schooled in POE. Greg Smith, I'm trying to bring in Charles Galbraith, and then we're gonna ask NARC, you know, if they could participate as well. And this would be something open to everybody to come in and try to learn about this memorandum that came out of the Department of Justice and how that affects us. And why did they put the POD exemption in there and reference it? And you know, we gotta watch our directions here, how we're gonna go, but we gotta understand it first in our own language, in our own terms, exactly what this means. So Durrell is in there, he can kind of share a little bit, but our attorney, Greg Smith, DC, Hawkins Browse, they're continuing to dissect this also. What they felt was ultimately somebody's going to try to push this up to the Supreme Court. And then we have such a hostile Supreme Court, you know, they would, you know, we don't know what they would do. We don't know how that would be. And, but then at some point in this country, there's an effort to pull Indians back down from their legal status and to undermine federal Indian law and try to equalize everything. And we're not equal. We've never been equal. We belong to treaty tribes, treaty for the supreme law of the land. We have federal Indian law. It's already been codified in statutes, legislative vehicles, Supreme Court cases, judicial decrees, executive orders, and administrative rules, and on and on and on. Nobody else has that. There's no black law, there's no Latino law, there's no indigenous law, there's no Mexica law, it's Indian law, federal Indian law. And this is what they're trying to dismantle, the best they can do. And, you know, it's hang on time. We just knocked out 1 year. 1 year, we knocked out. There's 3 more years to go. And this damage has been done in this 1 year. It's going to put us back a whole generation. But we'll survive it. And in the fall, if things change, you know, there'll be some guardrails too coming. So, you know, help's on the way, but we gotta hang. Now, there's another case, a federal district case that happened years ago. It was about a non-Indian who was adopted by a tribe and they gave him some eagle feathers. And there was an issue if he violated the Multiple Act. And golden eagles are protected under that statute as well. And then the exemption we have, that's another exemption. I know nobody thinks of it that way, but it's another exemption that we have the legal authority to possess eagle feathers. So in that case, I'm going to send it out to, I shared it with Jerry Patchen and with Greg and other people, Justin. It was a really good case because what they determined was that the non-Indians didn't have a right to eagle feathers the same way we did. And that there was a finite resources. And that if it were to open up to all people who claim that the eagle is sacred to them, that they have to have an eagle feather for a ceremony, same thing as Yogi, that they had a trust obligation to Indian country to provide those eagle feathers for our ceremonial whale hunt first. So, what I hope that that's some type of precedent, you know, because Yogi, as we know, is a finite resource, shrinking habitat, more exclusive to get. And so we're, what are we gonna do? And then what our non-Indian friends are doing is like, hey, you guys, you're saying we can't have peyote over here, and then and now you're saying we can't have mescaline, or you're saying we can't have synthetic mescaline. What is it? What's wrong with you guys? And that's not fair. That's not right. That's not ethical. And that's what they're feeling. That's what they're saying. Never mind, they have hundreds of other drugs. And there's no evidence right now that out of a pill that these drugs they want are any more effective than the drugs that already exist. And then all the drugs that exist, I'm talking about prescription drugs and drugs, 90% of them come from this hemisphere. They come from Indian country. And my attitude is simple. It's like, what more can we give you guys? What more do you want? And all this land, you didn't drag it with you on the Mayflower. You didn't bring it with you. All this water, minerals, forests, everything. We've given you everything before you took it. But this one, we're not giving. And we got to be strong about that. And I think some people, feel different, and that's their right, But I think our organization, like it or not, everybody's looking to us, as leaders and to guide and to protect every which way we can. And so many old people are out there; they're not interested in coming to business meetings. And they don't want to sit in a meeting and hear people bickering about, who's what chapter, who's in good standing, who made the right motion, who seconded the motion, who's going to vote. They don't want to hear all that. They just want to hear, we're carrying on these teachings that they gave us, and they're looking to us to be their voice, and they're looking to us to get the job done, by any means possible that we can, in a good way. So that kind of, we want everybody on that call when we do it, and it'll be hosted by NCI. John Brady will be chairing the meeting, and it's going to be very informative. And this is what we got to get back to. This is what we got to start doing again, and sharing information. And Darrell, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but I'm pretty sure you found it interesting and informative what Greg was sharing and what he was saying. And it's us getting in the minds of the administration based on the evidence we have, what they're doing, or what they're trying to do. So that was kind of a little wrap on the peyote task force. I did talk about the group of scholars that we brought together, that are roadmen and water women, and the PhDs, and the need, for us to really set research standards to help tribes with their intellectual property, with their codes, with their jurisdictions, with their tribal institutional review boards, and with their consent processes, with their data sovereignty, and really beefing it up